What's good, everybody? This is Ray Daniels, a.k.a. The Culture Referee, and I'm here to talk to you about Two Lost Distribution. They are one of the most technologically advanced distributors in music. They distribute to more stores than any of the distributors around. They distribute, they give you 100% of your royalties. They only charge you $3 a month, and you have an instant option to get an advance from these guys. So if you're watching this and you want to be in the music business and you're trying to figure out how to get help, I'm here to tell you, go to twolost.com and use the word GODS as your coupon code, and you get the first 3 months free.
Hi guys, I'm Ray's friend Ty.
It's the Kif guard from Queens, Jack Dance.
And this is Ray Daniels, aka the Culture Referee. And this is the God Show. Let's go. And before we get started, like, share, subscribe, do all the things that help us keep this thing going. Because without you, there's no reason to do this, right? But now that we got that out the way, we got a legend on the couch. I remember going to summer camp, playing their records. I remember the dances Apiquan used to do. I remember his name was Apiquan. They had a brand Nubian dance. Let's give it up for Lord Jamar. Let's go. From brand Nubian, but y'all already knew that. Ty, yes. Let's get into it. What would you like to ask? Hold on, before I get into it, let me tell everybody who Ty is. I'm going to just intro, because I want to give you a proper intro. Ty's been a friend of mine for well over 15 years. She's been the only journalistic friend I've had around. She was a journalist hanging around street niggas. And we ran into each other in... Was I? Yeah, you was, to me. Oh. You wasn't hanging with journalists. You was hanging with us.
Yeah.
It's my Haitian sister, but we used to be... I ran into her in LA at the museum, the Nas Museum. And I kind of was looking like, man, I wonder if she would... like, join me. And she says, when you gonna have me? I'm like, nigga, let's get it going. Right. Like, she's an actual journalist. She's an actual journalist. That's what I like about it.
1, 2.
Let's go. Talk your shit.
Might be a little bit of a, at least in Atlanta, rap podcast pioneer. Shout outs to ABL Radio. I had a show on there for 3 years. I was playlisting before y'all knew what a playlist was. You know what I mean? I fact check things. I've beaten the Associated Press on the story, but, you know, and I could do it in multiple languages. How did you beat
the Associated Press on the story?
Well, I know how to research a news story. Ooh. So...
And by the way,
the quick story.
Tell us.
All right, so when Lil Wayne got arrested, and this is gonna sound like some real crazy shit to street people, but fuck it, I'm not a street person.
You just hung around them.
I'm a journalist, and I'm an immigrant. Y'all not getting me deported today. So when Lil Wayne got arrested in Arizona, I had been trained by the legendary Grouchy Greg at allhiphop.com.
Shout out to Grouchy Greg and Chuck Creek.
And shout out to Chuck. Chuck gave me my nickname, St. Boogie. So you know that's my OG. So we called. I just called the precinct that arrested Wayne, and that lady was so excited to find out that she had a rap celebrity in her thing. They gave me all the details. I knew his codees names.
Oh, wow.
I knew what they found in the truck. On the bus. I knew what everybody's bail was. And so my story was filed at the same time that the, I think it was the DEA, when they actually sent out their press release, my story was already written. So I beat everybody on that shit.
And Lord Jamar, that's why I wanted her to do this interview with you. Because I wanted to have someone who had some kind of journalistic integrity to them. You know,
now you're scaring me. She might have.
He's scared. No, but she cool as hell. But
private investigation on.
Some might know all our priors and shit.
Todd knows it all. So Todd, let's lead. Let's go. It's on you now. You can ask questions, sister.
So, Lord Jamar.
Peace. First of all.
Let's peace. Let's give the youngins, because, you know, we're not old, but I had to tell somebody yesterday that LL Cool J was a rapper before he was an actor. Oh, that really didn't know. And, you know, it's all good. She didn't know she's 22.
Nah, that's real.
She should know.
I mean, I knew Ronald Reagan was an actor.
Before he was a president?
Go ahead, finish what you're saying.
When he was president, I don't know. But, look, the kids are not going to learn unless we teach them, right? So let's give, like, for the people who don't know, what is the elevator pitch version of your history in this game as both a rapper and an actor?
Basically came into the game around 89, 90 with a group, Brand Nubian, who was known for conscious slash, you know, party type hip hop, I'd say. Yeah. And we came in the game and we did some legendary things as far as The album we put out had 5 mics in the source at that time. That was like
that was
the
a big
holy
deal.
grail of.
That's like being on the front page of Rap Caviar.
Yeah, and it really meant something at that time. That was before the source got co-opted into all the other nonsense. But at that time, it really meant something. Yeah, we represented the Gauls, the 5% Nation, and yeah, we just was controlling things at a time when you came out with an album, if your shit was really legendary like that, then every truck, every car driving by is playing your shit, some song off of your joint. Yeah. And we was fortunate enough to be in that time, that golden era. We was also in a time of heavy bootlegging though too. So
really?
Yes.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
As much as people love Brand Nubian and all that, we never went gold or platinum. Now we've been on gold and platinum stuff.
Really?
But yeah, we got to like 480 something and then they cut it off on it. That's right when SoundScan and all that was flourishing.
But you should be gold now though, right? Because the streams are adding up every.
But they'll re-release. You know, they'll stop your SKU number and then they'll
start
issue
over.
a new one.
Didn't know that.
Greatest hits and all. Yeah, they'll do a little. I feel like if we would have went gold or platinum, we would have had true political power. Like, you understand what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like Brand Nubian, like we were like.
I'm gonna ask you.
Really fucking with it.
Even being able to be as popular as you guys were with the name Brand Nubian, I think means a lot. So, like, is that something that you guys had to fight, name wise?
No, we just.
I didn't even know Brand Nubian had
we didn't even have a name at first when we was shopping for a deal. We didn't even have a music really. Like Grand Poobah had a group prior to ours, Master Ceremonies. So he had a name. People kind of knew him. So he was able to make calls and get meetings and stuff like that. So he got me and Sadat with him, like, yo, I got a group. And it's like, all right, can we hear some music? And it's like, all right, we'll be back.
Wow.
We went, made a demo, one song, went back.
What was that song?
It was called I Ain't Going Out Like That.
Okay.
Sampled some James Brown shit or whatever. Came back. Yo, this is hot. What's the name of the group? All right, we'll be back again. We had to leave.
Wow.
Go have a name session one day at the Jazzy J studio. And
do you remember some of the names that didn't make it?
Yeah, I think Now Rule Mob might have been one.
Now Rule Mob?
Yeah, Now Rule Mob. Because New Rochelle at that time was Now Rule, you know what I mean? From the alphabets. So anyway, but then Nubian was floating around in different configurations. Like I think I heard.
Nubian Princess, Nubian Queen. That's what I know the word Nubian.
Right. Well, I got up on Nubian from reading like Dr. York books at the time. He had the like the community in Bushwick, Brooklyn, and all that type of stuff. And they used to sell stuff on the trains, and you know, it had a lot of conscious information. He was the first one that I seen like the word Nubian, where he was calling black people Nubian. I was like, that's a good word to like trick our people into, you know, loving themselves, because the word African had a negative connotation to it.
It was almost like African booty scratcher, like African, everything was like,
Nubian sounds like some king.
And so if I'm not wrong, Nubia, the kingdom of Nubia, is really where Egypt got all the swag. Gets its props for, right?
Yes. Nubia,
so really it was us.
Kush, we were supposed to be the ones that started, you know, the Egyptian Kemetic culture and all of that.
So I'm gonna switch sides a little bit. So as you know, music is subjective. So I'm gonna ask you a question. I don't know if you've been asked, but I want to know, where would you personally rank Brand Nubian in the hip hop group conversation? You personally, because when I was a kid, I didn't know that y'all didn't go like Brand Nubian was huge.
We knew we were both Brand Nubian and Haiti.
So for me, it's like so for me, I'm like, where would you rank Brand Nubian in the history of hip hop groups?
Like, you talking a number?
No. It could be, are you saying they top 10? Are you saying they top 20 or top 5, top 3? Like your opinion of where Brand Nubian ranks.
Now, I'm glad, first of all, that you said groups.
Yes.
Because I feel like a lot of time the groups get overlooked.
Absolutely.
Like, who's your top 5 MCs and all of that? Like, hold up.
Yes.
Some of the greatest hip-hop music that we've ever had came from groups.
Absolutely.
Like, not solo artists. All this solo stuff came later when, you know, greed and all this other stuff broke up groups and stuff like that. And people started saying, you know, you can make money by yourself. And that's when it's like, okay, yeah, solo artists. Group-wise, I mean, there's been a lot of great hip-hop groups. I'll say top 20.
I would give it top 20 for sure. I appreciate that, by the way. Yeah. I appreciate when people are honest. Like, top 1, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it, but I'm saying there's only, you know what I'm trying to say? It's like, nigga, you ain't gonna get better if you're already number 1. Like, there's room to grow if you're in the top. You know what I mean? But I always want to ask you that because, you know, was Jeff involved in Brand Nubian? Jeff Dixon?
Later on, he was.
So, you know, Shaka brother Jeff, that's Grand Poobah's their cousin.
Right.
So he managed Poobah, I know, but I also know, and I'm only asking that because the word slow, my best friend, she knew, passed away. Their favorite rapper was always Grand Poobah. Like, it was like he was the Biggie before Biggie. Like, people always say that. Like, and it was like, Jeff, man, he was the first nigga making niggas rock like that. You guys had fashion on lock. I'm looking at you now. And before we start shooting, I was like, is there some Fendi sweat? Okay, this nigga is not playing. Okay. That's important because, you know, fashion is a big part of hip hop. The minute you start dressed like an old nigga, they treat you like an old nigga.
Exactly.
Right.
You know that. You got to dress. That's a little cold. You wearing them big pants that you wore in the 90s. You letting everybody know, I ain't growing, I don't want to grow.
So wait. Why are you talking about this old nigga shit? Like, let's have an honest.
Let's have an honest conversation. That's why I want you here. Go ahead, Top.
You just told me that your career started before I could speak English when I was 9 years old.
Right.
I'm not young anymore. Don't let the good genes and the organic living fool you. Do you feel like we finally gotten to a point where hip hop is able to make space for those of us who are older? Or are we still fighting the young niggas for the same space?
Well, I think we're about to get there. I think we're just about to enter that space, and hopefully I could be one of the ones to help usher that in, because I feel like I have a lot of talented people around me right now that need exposure, but a lot of them are in their 40s.
Right.
They're in their 40s, and they're well worthy of being heard. And it's like, who put this age limit on hip-hop?
So 20 years ago, Jesus Christ, I'm sorry.
Going down memory lane, huh?
Caught yourself.
Somewhere around 2006, I had the same conversation with Heavy D, rest in peace, Rev Run, with Easy Moby, and somebody else. But I've been having this conversation since 2006, right? Hip-hop is a youth culture movement. So was rock at a certain point, right? But for whatever reason, the Rolling Stones could tour at the same time as Panic at the Disco, at the same time as, I can't name you a rock person that's relevant to a 20-year-old, but that guy.
What's good, everybody? This is Ray Daniels, a.k.a. the Culture Referee. And if you were wondering who this beautiful woman sitting next to me is my sister, Tiffany Daniels Sy. Let's give it up for my sister. Everybody can clap. This is good. And my sister she's the most talented person in the family, and we started a family business, a signature scent company. So if you like smoke a lot of weed in your car and you want to get the scent out, you have to check out these scents. I know guys that use it for the weed. I know people that use it for cologne, and everywhere they go to get compliments. We make candles. We make
room sprays. We got them in kits. So if you want to buy something for your loved one or anybody you know that you care about, hit us up, LorraineCo.com.
And we're going to put the website at the bottom of it. But support this black business, support this black woman, and order, I promise you guys. As a matter of fact, use the word gods, and we'll give you 15% off. I just made that up, so if my sister's face looks crazy, don't get mad at her. I'll eat that. But guys, when I tell you this shit is incredible, you really should check this out.
The best scents ever.
LorraineCo.com. And we'll put it at the bottom of the screen. Thank you.
Thanks.
Why can't we do that?
I'm going to say something. I got to jump in. I kind of disagree. I think that hip-hop has finally matured to that place.
Okay.
Let me tell you why I say that. Because I have a 15-year-old son. When Kendrick drops, my son is listening to it the same way I'm listening to it. So for the first time, I don't know about you guys, but when I was a kid, my mom was listening to Luther Vandross and shit like that, and I was playing Rakim.
Hip hop is the first music to unify not just different cultures, but age-wise as well. Yes,
because even rock and roll is kind of sort of like a mentality, like rock on, rock and roll forever. It's like, but rap. And we've made it a young nigga game, but I was gonna say I disagree. And the reason why I'm gonna say that is because that's a lot of people in this room. Right. Can anybody in here name a better rapper under 30 better than Jay-Z? Better than Kiss? Under 30 rapper. Name one under 30 rapper that niggas is like, that nigga be spitting.
No. JID. That niggas be spitting, or not saying better than Jay-Z.
No.
That nigga be spitting.
But JID, I think, just turned 30. But he's 30 now. I think he's 30.
Okay, but from the first time I seen Jid, 10 years ago, I stopped what I was doing. I was at an indie show.
Wow.
It was the year before that. You and Rock City took me to the show that they used to do down here called.
Was it Almost Famous?
No, it was No, it wasn't Almost Famous. Shout out to Ravella, but it was like an indie fest or something like that. So we went one year where Rock City performed, and Trinidad James was on stage.
I remember that.
And we didn't know who the fuck he was because it was him and 15 niggas on stage. The following year, they did the same thing. I went to go see Money Making Neek, and Earth Gang brought out Jid, and I'm scrolling my phone because I'm here to see, like, it's an indie rap show, right? Like, I'm here to see the person I'm here to see, and I'm going home. I'm scrolling my phone. When Jid started rapping, I stopped
and looked up
and went and found who could tell me who that was. 6 months later, I went to another show and I watched other people do the same thing. Like, you know, Atlanta crowds are horrible, right? So everybody's talking, everybody stopped when you start rapping. But, so Jid.
Now, real quick, I just want to no disrespect. Who the hell is Jid?
JID.
Who the hell is JID? And see, he probably could rap his ass off. And I just say this because I don't know who that is, but I know who Sexy Red is.
But I think it's okay for you not to know. I think it's okay for you not to know who JID is. Right?
No, but I should know who he is.
You should.
I should know who he is.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to know who Sexy Red is. Yeah. But look, I'm inundated with that.
But look, but you know who Jid is now.
Well, by name, so now I have to do some research.
I send you a song.
Yeah, now I need a link.
He had a record go viral with the Miss Fat Booty sample. It was going viral. You'll put the song, you'll put the camera on the ceiling, and then you'll come down. So basically, he's ill. But you back my point. Jid just finally matured to the place where he finally getting that credibility because he didn't change himself.
Surround sound. That's him.
Yes. That's him.
Oh, okay. I know that joint. Oh yeah.
But Ty, you proved my point. There's nobody under 30 that can rap better than the niggas in their 40s.
I don't think that's true.
Name one.
Well, here's the thing.
We don't know them. That doesn't mean that they're not there. And here's the reason. My thing is, I feel like we don't know them because we keep trying to keep everybody in hip hop in the same space, and everybody in hip hop ain't supposed to be in the same space.
Agreed.
Right? So like a Sexy Red could be like if we're keeping to the rock comparisons, right? Sexy Red could be was it B-52s that had Grooves in the Heart? Well, no, that was a different group. B-52s had Love Shack and Rock Lobster. Yeah. Right? The song is fucking called Rock Lobster. Like, they're not serious people. They're not considered in the same lane as a
Ozzy Osbourne.
Or definitely not Ozzy Osbourne, right? They're not in the same lane as U2 or John Bon Jovi or whatever. Like, there's different levels. Right. We want everybody in rap to be in the same thing. It's not the same thing.
But here's the thing. That's why when you have a mic in your face, you can choose. You said something, Todd. You said rap is a young man's game. Rap is a everybody game.
Absolutely.
And we have to say that all the time because here's what I love about what hip hop is right now. Because we had Eric Sermon on the show. And what I love is that the way hip hop was set up in the 90s and the early 2000s, we threw niggas away. Oh, nigga, when Chingy was done, Chingy was done. It was like, we will talk to you another lifetime. Am I tripping?
No, for real.
Nigga, when a nigga was done, a nigga was done. Goody Mob, when they was in trouble, like T-Mo tells the story about him working at a Quick Trip. after Goody Mob had a platinum album. In our world, when you were done, you were done. It's not like that anymore.
It's not like that anymore.
That's what I'm saying. I think that we're finally have fully developed as a culture. Our problem is what you said, though. We can't, like, everything ain't everybody.
I've been asking for adult.
I don't expect you to know what JIT is, but I don't expect you to completely know what JIT is, but I expect you to know a song. But I'll tell you one thing, JIT is making $300,000 to $400,000 a night right now. Doing festivals. He's killing it. So it's like, we know JIT. We know who he is, but Lord Jamar don't have to know who JIT is.
Right.
JIT needs to know who Lord Jamar is.
And I bet you he does. And I guarantee you he does.
I bet he does.
And what I wanted to say is, you say who could rap better than Jay-Z under 30. What I'm starting to realize is the kids under 30 know that. And so they're starting to look to the older rappers and be like, no, Jay-Z is that dude.
Yes.
And they're starting to listen to Tribe Called Quest and Brand Nubian. And my son was rocking Gangstar and shit like that.
And it's a rediscovery and an opportunity. Because even JIT, as we said, JIT, what broke him? An old song from 20 years ago from Mos Def, who was probably in the same scenario as him, where he had all the skills, he had all the opportunity, it just wasn't time. So I feel like hip hop is at a time now where I do want to see EPMD. I do want to see Brand Nubian. I do, you do, and by the way, Ty, we ain't even ashamed to say it. It ain't like we're like, man, fuck that, we got to go get this ATL kid.
Y'all really want to know what I want?
Tell me.
As a middle-aged black woman.
Oh shit!
Because I am. I like saying that shit because you can be like, nah, and I'm like, nah, really. As a middle-aged black woman, the only rapper that's speaking to me on wax these days is Beyonce, Giselle, Knowles Carter. Ain't no other black woman my age. Nicki Minaj is 4 years younger than me. She not talking to me most of the time.
Because she don't know how to.
Eve is. I mean, she does. She's a black woman. Listen, I know what I talk to my friends about.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I'm a creator.
Right.
I manage creators. I've been in the room. And you know this. There gets to a point where if you take a 6-month, year break, you're not as sharp as you once was.
That's fair.
And what I'm saying is that for Nicki, she's still in her same game. So she's not thinking like Hove. Hove understands, I'm not a young nigga no more.
Right.
See, I'm going to give Nicki a pass. Tell me if you agree. Women are harder on each other by age than men are.
Nope. Not anymore. Not anymore.
You don't
not
think
our
so?
generation. Not our generation, and she is my generation.
So you don't think Nicki is still like, dog, let's be clear. She's still
the reason why Nicki is still competing with, and I didn't think about this shit until Lotto called her out and was like, dude, you're my mother's age. Why you fighting with me? Right?
Shit.
Right.
That shit just sound way far.
Exactly. That's when you have to stop and you got to look, right? But Nicki is the last, if you think about it, in the, like, post Latifah and Salt and Pepper and all of them, right? The next wave of women who had success in rap was always the first lady. Once I'm the first lady, who the fuck wants to be the second lady?
So Nicki's the only lady from her generation, right?
So you set it up. Well, no. So originally it was set up to where any woman that got in the room felt like she had to hold that space. There could not be another woman in the room, right? I got the one spot. I'm the first lady. I can't let nobody else come in here. Nicki broke down the barrier for everybody else because she was the first lady that was viewed as a peer with her male equals, right? Like she was looked at as right there with Drake and Wayne, right? So that's the reason why she was able to break through. But mentality-wise, she still comes from that era of being the only one, and she does not know how to share the space. But
you prove my point. Men, on the other hand, we see it differently because with men, we don't have an expiration date.
Exactly.
It's no disrespect to women, but it's just, you could be 75. Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, both in their 80s, just had new babies.
Right.
But in music, and you can tell me if you disagree, like in music, I think that men are just getting to the point where they're saying we don't have that expiration date, where they're not feeling like they got to compete with the young boys, where Nas could come out and be in hip hop.
But here's the thing. You know why? I figured out. Here's why. Because Nas didn't have to go to some young 35-year-old CEO of Def Jam and say, hey, I want to put out an album.
Exactly.
Why should he? He's fucking Nas.
And he's done it. And he proved
so
it.
Now he just goes independent. He says, I'm Nas. He puts it out, or he is actually on his label.
It's actually better than some of that shit that he put out earlier.
But here's the thing. We have to allow hip-hop to grow and break off.
Yes.
That is why, like, I was at the Grammys, right? I shouldn't tell a story, but I'm going to share it. So I'm at the Grammys. Lord Jamar, I'm like... You know, it was one of the moments, bro. It was one of the moments I had to catch myself. Okay, so watch this. So I'm at the Grammys, and then Flavor Flav comes. And when Flavor Flav comes, you know, I whispered like, "Oh shit, they go Flavor Flav." Like, it's good to see him doing good. And then when he got in front of our section, because it was on the floor, we was like right by the floor, the white people started saying, "Flav, Flavor Flav, Flavor Flav, we love you." And I kind of said, and by the way, I'm the only nigga in my section. And I kind of looked at my girl and I was like, fuck, they celebrate our kings more than we do. And for me, that hit me. We gotta start, listen, Ozzy Osbourne and them probably use crack too.
No, 1,000%.
Absolutely.
So when we say this, and by the way, I gotta bring. If you was once a crackhead, you can change your future and not be a crackhead no more.
Have you listened to Ozzy Osbourne talk? Like, that man has.
Yeah, he's fucked up.
He definitely used crack.
I'm not a doctor. I don't know this to be a fact, but it seems like drug-induced brain damage.
Bro, we know it. He knows it,
right.
and but it's okay because it's rock and roll. But when it's rap, we ashamed of it, and that's because we haven't matured enough yet. Like I love the fact that my best friend is right there, and he comes to the studio and he asks to take a picture. Like, I love that. Like, appreciate this nigga. Like, we forgot we was bumping him when we was kids. Right. It's almost like we don't want to remember that. And to me, that's hip hop's fault. And I really believe that Dre, Jay-Z, all those guys that hit 40, Jay tried to fuck us over a little bit. Jay did try a little bit when he said 30's the new 20.
Yeah, I was
that was his way. That's his way of being a young nigga. 30's the new 20.
Said that shit at 37,
nigga,
but go ahead.
Nigga, it ain't the new 20. 30 is 30.
Right.
50 is 50, 40 is 40. And by the way, it's
okay.
Right, it's okay.
So I want to ask you, so how do you feel about today's artists? Oh, you got Fendi sneakers on too? You ain't playing, like, keep the legs
I thought you think that from John.
He wants you niggas to know, nigga, I'm up on it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about today's artists? Because my thing is, it felt like artists had to have 2 or 3 platinum albums to go platinum. I mean, to be rich, I'm sorry. Now, you got niggas that's gold, that's rich. That's rich, that's my side. Somebody that's gold, that's rich. Like, it feels like it's too much money going on right now. And to me, I feel like that's why artists aren't great. What would you say?
You know, I don't know if I ever thought about it, but I think I could agree with that. There's definitely, it seems like artists are getting a lot very soon in their career.
Yes.
Immediately.
Like, you can have one single.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden you're getting shows for 25,000, you know, 50,000 a pop. And it's like, do you know how long it took us to, like,
get there? And
it's not like we stayed at that, like, I could probably count how many times we got paid 20-something thousand, and we in a group. You understand?
And management got to be paid, travel, what?
Right.
So, and this is after having albums.
Yes.
And you just one single. You ain't never performed nowhere before. You
got 2 songs. You got
you
2
just
songs.
straight from your bedroom recording. I used to record in the crib.
Somebody in this room told me that there is an artist who had 2, maybe 3 songs to perform, and said person turned down $40,000 for a club show. Shit. It was 2 nights back to back, and that person said no. And I'm like, baby girl, like, oh well, shit, it was a woman. Fuck it.
This is a baby girl. Wow.
Nobody in your family until this year made $80,000 in a year.
Yep.
And now you want to shit on 40,000?
So my question is always, like, why are we pricing ourselves out of everything? Because, you know, I do marketing, right? And the company that I work for is an international company. And every time we submit budgets in the urban department, it's like, well, why does this cost so much? And we're like, rap shit. And that's really the only answer. There's no other answer. Like, it's rap shit. It's nobody wants to. What? God damn it, Ray. Nobody wants to learn how to do their job the right way. Yep. And so they're going to get as much money out of it as they can while the run. And
then wonder why they only got a 3-year career and then it's over. And then what they don't talk about is, once you get 50 to 100, whatever it is a night, you have a $50,000 to $100,000 lifestyle.
Right.
And then you made that the first 3 years, but year 4, you don't have it now. Now you like selling shit. You ain't pay your taxes. You're fucked up. And By the way, this is what we need. This is why I want to talk. Hip hop needs OGs. What happened to our OGs?
I mean, they tried to
you wanted them,
disconnect us.
You OG.
Yes.
That's what
They try to disconnect the young from the old. See, and that's something that it seems like, especially in hip hop, they didn't want the OGs to impart any kind of wisdom to the ones coming.
5%. I need to know why is that?
Because knowledge is power. Like, you know what I mean?
And a dumb artist is a great artist.
So let me tell you, you tell me if you disagree with me. The thing that I always like to say as an immigrant is that they've sufficiently convinced black people in America that we're powerless. And so if they keep us from sitting in the room together and comparing notes and realizing that we're not fucking powerless.
Talk that shit. You just motherfucking
you're not,
change the world.
You're not powerless. Like y'all over here worried about Trump, but you don't know who votes to put, when Biden sent out that money for infrastructure, you don't know who decided where they were putting speed bumps at. You just woke up one day and it was speed bumps in the West End. Where
and
my neighbor 2 years ago was
everywhere.
trying to get 2 years ago, my neighbor was trying to get petitions to put speed bumps on our road, and it just happens that I live on a street where most of the residents are renters, and he was having a hard time because they were like, "Oh, they don't know in the houses, they can't make decisions." Right? 2 years later, speed bumps everywhere. I don't know who made that decision. I can't vote in this country, so it's really not my business.
You can't?
No.
Oh shit.
I could if I wanted to, but I'm very, very passionate about holding on to my Haitian citizenship, and Haiti doesn't allow double citizenship.
See how you got pride in being Haitian? We need pride in being black
in
America.
You should be proud to be American.
And to be honest with you,
that's because y'all don't want to claim being American.
I do.
Okay.
I claim American. I'm a
motherfucking
American.
All of y'all should, because y'all been here as long as they've been here.
Yeah, but
this land is my land. This land is your land.
And to be honest with you,
right?
so
That's what they say, right?
when Jack hit me about Lord Jamar, the first thing I thought was, we can have a very highly enlightened conversation about us. Because to me, we need more of us.
What mentorship in hip hop has looked like to you, if anything?
Ooh,
like, has there been an opportunity for you to sit somebody down and be like, "Hey, I was once you," you know what I'm saying? Like, because y'all broke the mold with Steve Stout. Because I wrote a paper about this in college. Like that Sprite, that whole thing of Sprite actually intentionally doing commercials to speak to hip hop culture. Y'all was a part of that, right?
One of the first.
So, yeah. That first Sprite campaign in, you know what I'm saying, like 90, I don't want to say what year, but has there been a situation where you've had the opportunity to sit somebody down and be like, "Hey, I could probably teach you a couple of things," and then was that person receptive?
First of all, many times. I've been a hip hop mentor probably for years, on the low that you didn't even know. Like I used to have people like DMX, was my man way before he met any Rough Riders and all of that type of stuff. I had him with me, but I was kind of new into the game too. But I still was trying to
help him.
But he was a wild boy, and you know what I mean. he was into the streets more than, you know what I mean. So it's like, all right, I'm still trying to get in the door too, so I can't, you know what I mean. Black Rob, I used to rock with before he, you know what I mean. But again, he was too much into the streets at that time, and he wasn't really ready. He was all right, but he wasn't the Black Rob that we grew to know. People got it. Timing is everything. So my first time that it probably really everything gelled is when I had Dead Prez. Dead Prez is now that's my that's my discovery. That's my first time I signed a group to me. And we the first three to have them. The I Chain.
I never knew that.
Yeah, I think, was I the first one in the chair? Probably. I might have been the first one in the chair.
Listen, like that's the clip that you need to send out to all the rappers. I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so they were the first ones that I feel like I poured my knowledge. They didn't even know really 16 bar. They were just writing and song structure. They didn't understand that, and just this whole how to approach the industry and all of this type of stuff. They was probably my first ones that I mentored. And then, going on, recently, I had a guy that I was mentoring, Stove God Cooks. You know, he ended up doing some scumbag shit. I ain't gonna lie to you, but you know, sometimes that happens. And now my latest mentorship would probably be my boy 5 Mics.
He was Hustle Gang, right?
Yeah,
kind of.
Well, he used to be,
yeah.
but yeah, he's doing his own stuff now. But yeah, that's kind of what I do. That's one of the things I do. You know what I mean? I wear many hats.
Let me ask you this
that.
question. So, the first two people that you said you could have mentored was DMX and Black Rob, or that you did. Do you think that if you would have mentored them, that they would still be alive, possibly?
Not necessarily. You see what I'm saying? Because everybody has to. The power is within you. You know what I mean? Yeah. All I could have did was try to be a positive example as much as I could be. You know what I mean? It's not like
you can't. Like I was about to say, it's an unfair question because then that's also like saying they didn't have nobody around them that cared or tried.
Yeah, they probably did.
And I mean, and at the end of the day,
they did.
We as a culture, because you were just saying that about Ozzy Osbourne, we as a culture don't really look at addiction as the disease that it is, and it's a disease. It's
we crown you something, crackhead.
You're a crackhead.
What's your crackhead?
We crowning it. Like we don't treat it like, and then we want to get mad that like, oh, the opioid, like they're more worried about white addicts and they worry about black addicts. We weren't worried about the black addicts. Yeah. I mean, some of us were, but like in mass, we weren't necessarily. So I don't think that, like Ray said, I don't think it's fair. I don't think we'll ever know. Like and then if you go back far enough to take that element out of it, and it sounds really fucked up to say, and I'm sorry to say it, but like, then what does the art sound like? How does it impact your art? Because there are rumors.
Ooh,
there are rumors.
Go there. She needs to. You go there. Go there. That's important.
There are rumors that part of what took ODB from us is that when he went back into the studio to do that last album, the people that were around him that were like, hey, don't put no liquor in there, there was somebody in his ear like, you kind of need that to be creative, don't you?
I was about to say, what we don't talk enough about is how artists feel super when they're high and their career is soaring, but they're killing their bodies and themselves. And we don't talk enough about that. Like, I'm like, because I can tell you, I know for a fact there's an artist that I worked with that when he was clean, he was mid. And then as soon as he got back high, that nigga is, he's so up there, nobody can touch him. So it's kind of like, it's fucked up, but it's like
a superpower.
This is the first time I ever knew, this is the first time I ever thought the devil existed. Because I'm in the room, and people in the room, and somebody says, he's not good because he's not on drugs anymore. And I'm like, no fucking way that was said in the room. Like, it's almost like there's a moral compass that has to be there that doesn't exist in the music, because the only thing that matters is did the people like it or did they not. So if the people don't like that, the only thing we could do is say, well, maybe it's because he ain't on drugs no more. He broke, he wound up getting back on drugs, and he took over the world. And he became one of the biggest rappers of all time.
My nosy ass, I'm sitting there racking my brain.
I'll tell you on camera. I'll tell you off camera. But my point is that, nigga, we don't talk about how niggas need to be super in order to do this shit. That's why I tell nigga, you better figure out the science of what you do. Because you only know the magic of what you do. And that magic trick can get old real quick. You better learn the science of how to make a hit, bro. If you don't know the science.
And
that's what I had to learn.
A science.
It's a science to making hit records. That's I'm telling you.
Also, like, everybody don't need to be on stage no more. Like, I feel like, I can't remember who told me that, but like, if everybody's on stage,
who's
running the lights? Not even who's in the audience. Who's running the lights?
If everybody's on stage,
who's at the door? You know what I'm saying? Like, who is like making sure that the sound is right? Like, if everybody's on the fucking stage, like, you gotta leave room for somebody else.
I think that's only what they teach black people. Black people, I still think niggas feel like.
Well, you know what? I don't care what they teach anybody else. I'm black as fuck.
No.
So let's. The reason why I say that is because I feel like a lot of times, one, we overestimate how disproportionately things impact us versus other people, right? So I'll give you an example again. I'll be at work, lamenting dealing with rappers sometimes. I love rappers so much.
I'm not gonna lie. I need you to tell me what lamenting means.
Lamenting means like
Thinking
what was
about.
meaning, like thinking about it, but like being hurt about it, like being sad about it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I've been like all my SAT words been coming out because I've been.
You can
playing
tell who didn't
double-
graduate high school on time.
What you get on SAT?
I got a
Man, don't do that, Jack.
1600 when,
Jack.
I'm sorry. I got a.
Man, let her
I got
talk,
a
man. Fuck all that,
1350
'cause
when
nobody-
1600 was the high.
Nobody ask me.
For 5 years after I started speaking English, but
Just bragging a little bit. Just, you know. 5 years after I start speaking English, but whatever.
the public college.
Y'all was speaking this all your lives and never got a score that high, but
I'm
whatever.
sitting there like, damn, these rappers are giving us a hard time. I don't understand. And then we'll get on a call with the rest of our team, and it's like the Latin artists are doing the same thing, the rock artists are doing the same thing, the country, like it really don't just be us. It's just it's very easy to, y'all finna get me deported today, right?
No.
Look, it's very easy to just look around you and think that something is only happening.
I was about to say we need each other.
Yeah.
That's bottom line. We need each other. Hip hop needs all participants.
Right.
We don't have an expiration date in hip hop. That's my
No.
problem.
But
with
we
the
need
game.
gatekeeper.
No,
Bring
no.
back gatekeepers.
Guess what? If you have OGs in place, gatekeepers are there.
Right.
Because sometimes you just need somebody to say, like, it's like when I did the Salam interview. It's like, nigga, hold on. I gotta know who I'm talking to. I think that happened. He's like, well, that's not really what happened. But I'm saying is that's me giving respect to him. We need more respect for our OGs, period. Instead of telling them to go home. And also, last thing I'm gonna say on this subject is we don't talk about how there was no money available back then. So I remember being a kid. I'm gonna show my immaturity. I was like 15, 16, and Smooth B from Nice and Smooth lived in my cousin's building. By the way, it was the hood. So it was kind of like, man, Smooth B, Nice and Smooth, man. I'm like, he lived in my fucking building. He ain't shit. And it's like, dog, he came up in the time where he couldn't be shit if he wanted to. Just be honest. What people don't know is that Jay-Z is older by 4 years than Special Ed.
Right.
Special Ed came out when he was 16.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Jay-Z came out, he was 28.
Yeah.
How the fuck we expect a 16-year-old kid to last 20 years compared to a 28-year-old man who knows better, he knows himself, he knows what he wants. We don't talk enough about ageism in our culture. And to me, we have to, but we have to let the OGs in. Because if we don't, nigga, we're going to have a whole, like, here's the problem with us. Lord Jamar can have some information for a young nigga right now. Let's say Lord Jamar can sit in the room with a sexy red. She's a girl. And he's like, yo, baby girl, I love what you're doing, but there's a better way to do it. The first thing she's going to say is, I got more money than you. That should not justify
So
how
funny?
much information that I have.
I was listening to the College Dropout because every time I go on a road trip for whatever reason, I pay homage to Kanye's great early trilogy. And you know that song at the end where he's talking about signing to Rockefeller?
Of course.
And he's
Cheers
like,
to
he
the
wanted
rock.
Jay-Z to do he wanted the fun Jay-Z on That Can't Be Life beat, but he got the more introspective.
Yeah.
He's like, Jay-Z asked me
What do you
what
thought?
I thought about it. And I was like, well, that shit fire.
Shit fire.
What I'm going to say, I'm still on the train.
Yeah.
And when he said that shit, I was like, this is the problem with rap right now. Because y'all feel like you can't tell somebody that got more money than you something. But like, it's just like, it's just whack.
And we have to learn that. By the way, I learned that lesson from Shaka Zulu. I'm going to give him credit. Shaka said, when we get money, we think our money means we are better or we belong in certain places. And that's just not the truth. Because money doesn't lead with money. Like, money don't lead with money. Money leads with respect. If you got money, that's how you do it. So,
Right.
But the problem is, and I'm glad you said that, we have to, I think hip-hop needs a board. I think it needs a board. And I think it needs a board to judge labels. I think it needs a board to judge artists. Because they hated D1 for what he said. By the way, D1 did this show. They hated from what he said. But he wasn't wrong.
He's not wrong.
How you saying jail reform, but then you also to my killing a nigga? God, the universe is confused. They don't know if to send you, they don't know if to call you a hero or send you, they don't know what you are. And people got mad at him, but we need that.
Right.
How can you do a show? How can you do an album if you call yourself a rapper and you don't challenge yourself? Everything should get better or different. Nobody wants the same nigga.
And I think that's why I was asking about whether there was pushback with your name, because I, in my little exploration yesterday showing this young girl like early or late 90s rap, I noticed that there was a lot more presence. Like it seemed like a lot of early artists were influenced by the Nation of God's Earth, right? Like there was a lot of medallions and videos. There was a lot of, you know what I'm saying?
They raised me.
Everywhere, right? And so, and even some of the most common phrases in hip hop, the most universal phrases in hip hop. We don't realize that's what
A cipher.
Really? Educate me. Hold on, educate me.
Okay, so the gods would have what's called ciphers, okay, where we're in a circle, a 360-degree circle, and we're building, we're saying our lessons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that would be called the cipher. Well, once hip-hop started coming about, people would start getting in a similar circle that looked like what the gods used to do, and they'd start rhyming instead of saying their lessons. It would be a rhyme cipher instead of a knowledge type of cipher. And they started calling those ciphers, but that whole terminology of a cipher comes from the gods and earth. When you see people standing like this and they call that the b-boy stance, that's not a b-boy stance. That comes from the gods used to be at the jams back in the days, and a lot of times they was the security, you know, by the ropes with a DJ booth and all that. So they standing there in the truth or square, you know, with their arms right over left, and then your feet is at a certain 45-degree angle, and people would look at that and just think that's the b-boy stance. Now that's how the gods would stand, like, you know what I mean? So when you hear things like word is bond in hip hop,
peace, calling somebody son,
anybody, yeah, son or God, like everybody wants to be a something God now, yeah, like that all comes.
By the way, this is why we need more OG speaking. Cause
love, peace, and happiness. When you hear in that order, that comes out of our 12 jewels from the God's 12 jewels.
So I gotta ask you a question. This is probably gonna be the only controversial question I ask you, and it's not to me. I'm only asking you because you are a 5%er. So because when Jack sent me information, because I was like, Lord Jamar, brand new, boom, boom. He was like, nah. He was like, nah. He be going in, and then he sent me like 5 clips. They all was Vlad. So my question is that a lot of people in the hip hop community consider Vlad police. By the way, I know why Vlad wins, but what made you feel comfortable talking to him with his reputation being like that?
Well, first of all, I don't fuck with Vlad no more.
Oh, well, shit, there it is.
That's number one.
I was like, shut the fuck up, Ray.
But back then, it's not like I fully knew his reputation like that.
I don't think any of us did. In your defense,
I kind of, back then I saw, it seemed like his channel was kind of popular. He had interviews that seemed, you know what I mean? Kind of cool and engaging. And I just kind of felt like my perspective is needed on a platform like that.
Right.
Like they need to hear from an authentic, non-scared type of voice like me. Man. Yeah. Yes. And so originally how I got on there was back when you know, they were really trying to promote the skirts in hip hop, and they're just getting back to that now. What skirts in
hip hop mean?
Like they had men wearing skirts and shit. You know what I mean?
Really skirts. Okay.
Yeah, like real skirts. So Kanye had wore a skirt or something like that, and I one of these blogs hit me up, like just a written blog, and like, because I posted something on my IG about it, and I was like, yeah, it's people like Kanye that's helping to push this type of agenda. And oh, you want to do an interview about it? Yeah, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? So I did it or whatever, and that thing got a little bit of views. Yeah. But I guess Vlad saw that, so now he hits me and like, yo, you want to come on camera and do an interview about it? And I was like, yeah, why not? Like, you know what I mean? I kind of like your platform. Yeah. And I went up there and did that, and yeah, and it got mad numbers. And so when I did that, he now calls me back, and then, you know, I inadvertently said something about, you know, a guy that I don't want to talk about. Oh, but
okay.
Yeah, like.
By the way,
so do you feel like that tarnished your legacy in a way?
Absolutely not.
Do you know that as fans, some of us feel like it did? At the time, we was mad at you. We was
talking to Vlad.
Mad at me for
it's
what?
Me. I mean, I'm just saying, like,
for being on Vlad.
Not for being on Vlad. Not that it was his platform. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how much of it was like. I'll be fully transparent. This is early days of the internet, right? Mm-hmm. So sometimes you might see the clip and you don't go, and that's why Vlad does it the way that he does now. And we're not gonna keep saying that man's name and sending people to his platform. But the reason why he splits episodes into 15 clips is because he knows that most people are not gonna. Once you watch that one clip, you're not going to go back and watch the rest, right? And it just felt like, for you being one of our most brilliant minds, that you were either showing that you weren't or being manipulated into not appearing like that person.
But you was yourself on there. Okay, so let me get my. I'm gonna get my thoughts on Vlad.
I don't fully even understand what you just said.
I understand what she said. Okay, so let me get my thing. A lot of people don't like. First of all, I got to be honest.
We don't like Vlad because of him.
Because I don't get manipulated.
No,
so it definitely wasn't that.
No, but I was saying, Vlad does have one of the best platforms in hip hop by far. Let's be clear. Listen. Can I be honest with you guys? If we can't have an honest conversation, you get more from Vlad interviews than you get most, right? And I think it's because there's someone. Show life story you gave to him, whatever he gave you is not worth it, but he is good at getting information. We got to give him that. But he's a white guy in hip hop, so he doesn't play by the rules that niggas play by. That's why, oh boy, who we ain't gonna mention, I famously said he could never be in my top 10 because he don't have to play by the same rules every nigga has to play by. If Nubian had to make a club record, nigga, name a rapper that didn't have to make a club record. He don't. Name a rapper that didn't have to make a song dedicated to women. He doesn't. Everything rap is that you have to be considered a GOAT, he doesn't have to do because he's not our color. Him and Vlad are the same person. No, hear me out. What I mean by that is that they're both great in the space, but they can be greater than most and considered greater than most and do more numbers than most because they can do things that we can't do. They are like news reporters. Notice, you a journalist. You can talk to Lord Jamar way different than I am. I'm a nigga in the music business. I'm not going to say I'm disappointed. I understand the motherfucking move. Journalistic integrity, you say that. So I get it, but... And I still want to get back to that. Get back. Because I want to understand what you talking about. Because,
let's get back to it.
You know, I feel like I was there a lot of times to check his ass.
Right.
I was there to give a perspective of somebody who has seen this hip hop thing from its infancy, basically. Not that I was there, but I seen it start and golden era up until now, and like just a real nigga's perspective. Like, you know what I mean?
It's needed, by the way.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. So even when I started hearing certain shit about Vlad and I'm seeing little funny shit he do, I'm like, yeah, this nigga do be little funny shit, but I'm not gonna allow that in my fucking interviews. And there's plenty of interviews where you see me screaming on this motherfucker. Like, what the fuck are you talking? Matter of fact, that's one of my favorite famous clips. There's a clip of me. Fuck are you talking about? Like
I remember that. I remember, going crazy.
So I'm just trying to say, why do you feel
tied to the front?
Multiple. I mean, you know I ain't scared.
I love this. By the way, I love this conversation.
Okay, so
and I don't want you to be scared. I'm just curious of what you're saying.
Yeah,
gangster.
One, I'll be the first to tell you that I am very much a dreamer, and I often have to have conversations with myself about things being what they are versus what I would like them to be. Right. Two. If Ray could say that, you know, he has, like you said, he has a bigger platform than a lot of other platforms, because I'm not saying that man name for free anymore.
Show me the money.
Anyway, we've emboldened him and we've given him that power and we've made his platform what it is. And at the time, there were other people that you could have been having that conversation with that would have handled it. I mean, all hip hop.
They wasn't calling me though.
But you could call them, no?
Why?
Why would he call them?
I don't call
Fair.
nobody to be on their show. I don't want to
Fair.
fucking be on your platform. This nigga was calling me every other week or some shit like that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
from the
Because he
outside-
knew
from
that
the
my
outside
shit was
looking
getting
in-
views.
From the outside looking in, once you see somebody standing with somebody often enough, you stop thinking that it's a business relationship. You start thinking that it's an actual relationship. From the outside looking
That
in,
makes
Right.
sense.
right?
That makes
And
sense.
from the
From
outside,
looking in,
and
it's like you. That's your homeboy.
we
And
was
every
kind of
time-
cool for a
And
second.
every time that you feel hypercritical of the rest of us, you go to him with your criticism of these other young black kids and what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like from the
Right.
outside looking.
Okay. I could.
By the way,
I can
that
take
makes
that
sense.
in, and from the outside looking in, I could see somebody maybe construing it that
And
way.
at the time, and
But
again,
I'm
we
never.
didn't know
I
who he was.
never take my criticism to anybody. First of all, any question that I was ever asked on this man's show, I didn't know what I was going to be asked in advance.
Right.
This was all off the head, just
Here's
the
the
same
thing.
way we
Freestyle.
talking now.
And I'll give him this. As a journalist, you know how to ask the question that gets you the answer that you wanted.
Right, but see, I'm not the type. I'm not
No,
going to
not in a
always give
manipulative
you.
way.
What
Yeah.
I'm saying is, he can do that shit on other people. What made my shit, I would turn his shit on the head. So he would ask me some shit, and I would answer it in a way that he didn't expect.
Right.
And motherfuckers like, oh, he really fucking said that, and you know what I mean? 2 million views later. And why I would go on there a lot of time is I could say the same thing on another platform, on my own platform, and you know,
It don't go that far.
It doesn't go as
5,000
and-
views or something like that. I go on there 700,000
Okay,
views
and-
in a
and-
day, like you
And
know
it's,
what I'm
but
saying?
it's something we got to talk about. You're talking directly to an audience of people like you.
Yes.
That's the difference. Vlad is talking to a larger audience about shit that they care about. Vlad is more like TMZ, where he.
Hey man,
Okay,
you're
I'm
not gonna keep promoting that man's show on your show, dog. As your sister,
We're gonna
I can't
bleep that
let you
out.
do that.
Let's move on to something. Let's
So-
move. But listen, I study winners for a living. I only won in life because I studied winners. I don't have to like you to learn from you. And all I'm saying is that he is speaking to a larger audience of people who, you know who he's speaking to, Ty? Let me tell you who we are. Everybody in this room, including my Spanish Latina sister, we are all on the motherfucking floor, playing, fighting, going at it. We in the park, we in the streets, block party, whatever it is, we lit. The people he's talking to are in the houses watching us. That I love black culture. I just want to know more. That's why I said the same thing that made him is the same thing that built him. He's talking to people like him. There are 5,000. That's great, by the way. There are 5,000 people watching. 5,000 is a big motherfucking number, right?
Right.
But we're black, and it's like white people crossing over, black people crossing over. So to me, he just crossed over to us, brought our information to them, and asked us questions that me and you would probably get shot for asking. And the only reason he can do it is because he's not our color.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's like if he was black, it would be he would have been dead by now.
And another thing I just want to say of why I would go on there is because I knew I was introducing myself to a new audience. Now I got kids, 18. I had a 17-year-old kid. He don't know nothing about Brand Nubian. He don't know I was on Oz. None of that. Yo, I love your interviews. I love what you be saying. Like, a whole new generation of kids know me, like, and young black men, like, and they looking at me like, yeah, like,
And to be
yeah.
honest, and to be honest with you,
So-
that's how hip hop took over. That's how hip hop took over. We were cool. The white people were like, this is some gibberish. It's not gonna be around for a long time. But their kids were singing straight out of Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube. And that's when they was like, we might need to get in business with these niggas at least. But it was always entertainment. Hip hop is a way of life to us. For them, it's entertainment. We know it's penalties to us. You understand what I'm trying to say? I mean, and I'm only saying that if you don't play by those games, you're not in the same category as me. You can be bigger, nigga, because you can sell parts of you that I can't sell. And that's just the truth. Like, I can easily say, so man, let me ask you a question about blah, blah, blah. Get him pissed off. Didn't they just tell you not to ask me about that? Now he going crazy. Now I'm like, man, fuck him. Or he gonna get them views.
Right.
I could easily do that, Todd, but
Right.
I know that it don't end there. This ain't WWF. He doesn't go home and be the real version of himself and then be like, oh, Ray got me today. He's like, nigga, I'm waiting outside for you today. You know what I'm saying? So for me, by the way, I only do this to make, this show is only to make black people feel good. Only to make minorities feel good. Because sometimes you be measuring yourself to motherfuckers up there, but there's a reason why he's up there. Right. And it don't got nothing to do, you ain't got no control over it. It has everything to do with color of skin, background, everything. But let's get to another I just had to say that to you because as a 5%er, I'm like, damn, like I wanted to know, like, damn, what would you do him? Mind you, I understand why you do him up with my shit. His shit is way bigger. Of course, it's smarter. But it's like hip hop, guys. He shows up and I take your bitches.
But not even just that.
I show him and I take your people. But here's that's what hip hop did. Right. We were supposed to be a fly by night thing in the 70s, rapping, and now nigga, here we are 50 years later, and now niggas is like and by the way, their kids can't get enough of us. Everybody can, but the problem is it became so easy to do it that everybody did it. Right. Then it used to be the point. Exactly. Biggie has a famous line: "Where I'm from, you either sell crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot." You can now add rap. Yes. On that shit.
Yes. And unfortunately,
well, that's when hip hop was about talent. Now it's a personality contest.
Well, I mean,
it's like WWF.
It's a talent contest. Now it's a personality contest.
But it's a business also, right? And as a business, I think that in general, we don't handle our business enough, right? And so to take, and again, I'm not going to say his name, but he's treating you like you're valuable. He's treating you like he understands that as a platform, if I'm not talking to anybody, my platform is dead. As a platform, if I'm a music platform and I'm not posting music, my platform is dead. So then why would I treat you like I'm doing you a favor when it's really a symbiotic relationship, right? It's an opportunity for Lord Jamar to say what he needs to say. It's an opportunity for me to grow my platform. Right. But we don't treat each other like that. Like I'll get somebody else. Whatever. Like I think it's even when it comes to the talent, I think it's the supreme lack of professionalism among ourselves. It's why it's so easy for other people to walk in and be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Let's take you over here.
That's true. You don't know your value. That is true. I said that. I'm like, kids in the hood don't know that they have value because you can't see past, I'm waiting for my welfare check to come to get some fucking food. So how can I think that I'm worth $1 million? I could have $1 million if I'm too busy trying to figure out how to eat. The only way to do that properly, is to educate, right? To build and educate. That's why I'm not mad at it. I just wanted to understand it. But to me, like, even with this conversation, like, my only goal is to show black people that you can be the shit. You can wear Fendi and fly shit well into your 40s and later in life, however old you are, you could do whatever you want. You could be 55. Those things. 55. You could still
I feel like you need to say that.
I'm saying, but you could still be fresh at 55, still got the chain on at 55. I think hip-hop was the black man's way of saying, I'm not going to play the white man's game.
Still get down and give you 20 right now at 55.
Yeah, I think hip-hop is the black man's way of saying, we ain't going to play the white man's game. But we didn't, we didn't think about how they was going to own the business. We didn't think about, we were so busy saying we got the clout and the girls, we didn't realize that the masters will be worth something fucking 20, 30 years from now. Because if we did, we would have treated, am I lying? Am I right or wrong?
Absolutely.
So I think we don't give each other enough grace. So we have to give the lessons with grace. Yeah. I have to be able to say, yo, don't do that, but you got to give him grace because he did it, because he came up in the era where we didn't know that was right or wrong. Right. Now we know you can't do that no more.
But sometimes, right, there's a bigger picture also that's bigger than just money. Yes. And like, why do we know Malcolm X over some of the other preachers in the Nation of Islam at that time? Why do you think we know him?
Great question.
That is a good question.
Because
he was recorded. He did interviews.
Right. That's totally
different. They had albums on Malcolm X. He did recorded visual interviews on mainstream white people type TV shows, CBS and all of that stuff. And he did multiple of them. You think Martin Luther King, there was plenty of preachers like him doing what he was doing. But he was smart enough to film it and get it on record. Broadcast. To where years later, we know who they are. So if you
Or
think
somebody in the room.
that wasn't in part of my mind when I'm doing this,
Right.
Ooh.
because who is going to be the Malcolm X's and the Martins of our era? Like, who are they going to look at as the great minds of our era?
I agree.
Only people they see.
Only
Nope.
the people that's on the record.
But people who are doing it, that's why I say.
And you're going to go to YouTube
Yep.
or whatever tube they have
Yep.
in 50, 60 years, and you're going to, oh, this guy's interesting right here. Just like you look at speeches right now of,
Yeah.
Black Panthers,
Right.
By the way,
Chairman Fred, people like that.
pay attention to any black man in public that's famous, that changed the world. They all spoke like preachers. Barack Obama was smoked like a preacher.
Yes.
Like in America, we're gonna be like, you can't. It's something about a black man talking like a preacher makes white people feel a little safer, a little more uneasy, a little more like. Okay,
Well, it's also the cadence.
The cadence matters.
Cadence is an easy way to lull you into accepting the information that you wouldn't take if somebody was yelling at you.
Boom.
But if I say it real nice,
But if I
this is something
start
struggle with.
talking in this
Talking
type of way,
Yes.
This is something I
and
struggle
you
with.
start hearing what I'm saying from every Hamlet, you gotta listen to what I'm
You're
saying.
Right.
And
And
when
you
I
can
bring
be-
it up, and then I bring it down,
And then I
And
go
you
back
feel
up
like that
again.
thing
Tell
when you
him.
brought it down
Tell
was
him that
really
shit. I'm trying to
important.
tell you.
and I put a little smile on my face sometimes when I'm talking, you're gonna really listen.
And then you say, but y'all don't hear me.
But y'all don't hear me though.
But y'all don't
And
hear
then
me.
drop the mic and walk away. Everybody going crazy.
You know what that is? It's
Ooh.
marketing.
That is.
It's marketing.
It's no different than a rap song.
Look at that. Look at
It's
that.
no different
You
than
said you could throw it.
it's no different than a
Yeah.
rap song. It's no different than none of that shit. They just were better speakers. That's why they were so big. If I'm being honest with you, the reason
They were
why
more eloquent,
I was gonna say,
definitely.
the
at
reason why
that
they
time.
both were.
But they were more palatable.
The-
Because, do you know the story? You know the story about Rosa Parks, right?
What?
It's so funny. So I don't know who's doing this day in history for the History Channel right now.
Okay.
But it'd be a lot of real black shit that pop up as the fact of the day. So 2 days ago, it was, and I don't even remember the young lady's name, but months before Rosa Parks looked at them folks and said, "Hey man, I'm tired. I'm not getting up."
There was
There
another
young
lady, but she was pregnant.
But she was 15.
Yep.
She was pregnant, and
She wasn't
Who
good.
loves-
For,
they didn't think it was going to be a good look for the movement. And so
The
when
real
Rosa
Rosa
did
Parks.
it, and Rosa was a little bit better known in the community.
she
it was
already
like-
was an activist.
She was already active. She's already respected. So we be in our own way. Black people are so quick to like accept those respectability politics and put those. And so with that being said, I owe you an apology because it was like, oh, this is Lord Jamar from Brand Nubian. You know, the cute one. You know, the one from Oz. Oh my God, he's saying all of this weird, controversial shit. Now I gotta rethink how I think about him. That's really what it was. That's really what it was. Like 1,000%. Like in our
I love
mind,
you so much.
we had you. You were the pretty boy out of the group. So we're not expecting certain shit.
You're not supposed to be woke, nigga. You supposed to be out fucking bitches making babies. You woke.
I mean, you're not
Light skinned
supposed
nigga
to
got
be-
woke. Light skinned nigga woke up.
You're supposed to, you're supposed to be a cadence a preacher woke.
Yes.
You're not supposed to be woke in real life.
Yes.
You're supposed to be a palatable. You're supposed to be, spoon feed it to me. Don't come right out and be like, that's the plate.
I want to ask you a question. So you have a podcast. Can you
Yes.
tell us a little bit about it?
It's called the You're Not a Mean podcast. The reason why I call that, because when I started going on the show, people in the comments would be like, "You're not a mean," because I would say that a lot.
You're not a
And-
mean?
Yeah, you're not a mean. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Okay,
You know what I
got
mean?
you.
So yeah. So I was just like, I guess that's kind of my catchphrase, huh? Like, so I was just like, I'll just name it the You Know What I Mean instead of podcast. Godcast, me. I could do whatever I
hard.
want. You know what I mean? So yeah, I started out doing that, and then I started looking, at different configurations, like especially radio configurations, and you see like it'd be two guys and a girl. So I was like, I want to get a girl with me
Yeah.
to do this. Who would be
Yeah.
a good girl that I feel like is kind of my equal, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rod Digger. And it's like, I ain't even know Rod Digger like that. Like, I only met her like a couple of times, and you know what I mean? But I had just seen like an interview of her doing it, and she was speaking. I was like, we seem like a good, you know what I mean? She's been in movies. I've done stuff. Like, she's a dope. I was like, yo. And I don't really like female rappers. I'm going to just let you know that now. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I feel like hip-hop's a man's game. That's a whole other conversation. But anyway,
Okay, well, let you finish. I was gonna rap, but I gotta get into that one. We ain't going nowhere. Sorry, guys. Please. I need a couple more minutes.
Yeah. But I do like Rod Digger though. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I hit her up and I was like, yo, you know, I want to interview you for my joint or whatever. You know what I mean? And so. Oh,
then you a hero. I gotta get adjusted. Hold on.
She came to the crib and all of that, and then it was, you know, it got mad views. And so she's kind of saw like, yo, this could be something. I was like, yo, really what I had in my mind is, you know what I mean? Me and you doing something, like, you know what I mean? Like, and then she was like, you know, like, you know, how y'all girls are. Will you pay for my makeup? Oh, yeah, I got you. Like, you know what I mean?
We're about to get into it, Tom. Hold on. This is fine. The first time reality, thank you. Let me tell you, I say thank you. This is the first time somebody said so way more controversial than me. I want to get into it, nigga. I want to get into it. He's just sitting back. I'm like, let me get in position. You said, you're not a fan of rap.
Nah, not really.
And you said you think it's a man. I understand saying you're not a fan of rap, but you said it's not a man sport. I would love. I
said it is a man sport.
It is. I'm sorry, it is a man sport. I'm sorry.
I feel like it's geared more towards men. Okay. Like, let's be real. Like, R&B is geared more towards women, right? Like, originally you sing about love.
Who's your favorite R&B singer?
Probably a woman.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Who? Just tell me who.
He said a woman. He won.
I want to know who. What's your favorite? It shouldn't be hard to say.
Mary. Mary.
No, not necessarily Mary.
Taco slap in the back of your head. You help.
I'm not gonna hit anybody by.
I mean, maybe like an Aretha. You know, that's real R&B.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I don't believe you, by the way.
Listen, even if I like, but I do like manly sounding singers. I don't like male singers that sound like females.
Okay,
but anyway, just hear me out real quick. Hear me out. I just feel like there's two sides to it, and here's how I'm gonna prove my point. Right. So yes, in R&B, the themes are more about love. Well, these days it's about fucking. It's not really about love.
That's fair.
But at least they are saying to the girl, I want to fuck you. Like, you understand what I'm saying? It's talking to her. Like, you know what I mean? Back in the days, it was, oh, you're so beautiful. Da, da, da. It was talking to the woman. Hip hop, the themes and the sensibility were men talking to other men.
I need love.
Okay, huh?
Away, girl.
That was later. First of all, that was later. And I thought that was brilliant because now he gave me something I could fuck to.
Yes, sir.
That was hip hop. Okay, because I didn't really like all that slow shit. All I loved was hip hop, and these girls was mad when I'm bringing them to the crib and we fucking a Slick Rick and shit like that. You know what I mean? So
I think I'm just
saying.
There we go. You see how hard I'm trying not to interrupt you and to hold my thoughts to the end.
So this is your show. You got the floor. Let him talk.
Anyway, I'm just saying. All right. So how many times have you been to a hip hop jam, right, or a hip hop block party, and they say, "All right, we're gonna play some shit for the ladies now."
Yep.
Right.
Why did they say that?
Why?
Because
you gotta let them finish.
Because they was playing all this hard, masculine, fucking punch you in the face type of energy music. And at some point they said, we know that there's ladies here and we gotta play something for y'all. Because this hip hop shit is really started by men. Not that women weren't always a part of it. Sha Rock was down in the beginning, but she was an abnormality. Women were just like white people in hip hop is an abnormality. Yeah, they're in there, but this is a black people's genre, right? You can agree with that, but you won't agree that it's really a man's thing. Although, not saying women can't do it. Just like I'm not saying white people can't rap. I'm just saying I don't ride around to white people albums just like I don't ride around to no female album. I never rode around to Lil' Kim's album, no female rapper ever.
I have a question.
Not even
Rod Digger. And I love Rod Digger's my little sister.
Hold on, so you mean to tell me? Go ahead.
I've listened to a bunch of Rod Digger songs,
go ahead.
but have I ever rode around to Rod Digger? No.
Okay, so
and I love her.
So boom. I'm a tomboy like a motherfucker. I love Rod Digger. Rod Digger is probably one of the first artists that I met. We camped outside of a radio station in Miami to try to get her account on a street promo shit because I loved her so much. I still bump that Dirty Harriet album to this day, right? I, as a girl who has a lot of Jay-Z on my Get To It playlist, I, as a girl who don't want to listen to these niggas fake sing about fucking, I, who will probably, and Ray will tell you that, like, I'll come and hang out at the studio, whatever. What the fuck am I supposed to listen to?
I didn't say that.
That's
Listen,
saying, like,
and
so,
that's what I'm saying. And they're for
fan,
you.
That's why it works.
They're for you.
Exactly. So the reason why it works, first of all,
I didn't say that.
Lord Jamar, you know I like to do it. I gotta ask a question.
Right.
I gotta ask you a question.
Let me say something real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me say something real quick.
I got a question for your ass.
Real quick.
Right.
Go ahead.
One of the biggest issues in all male to female relationships, whether it's a transactional one as a fan or one in like a romantic relationship, is that everybody's doing what they think the other person wants, right? Ooh. So when they come out and they be like, let's play something for the ladies, a bitch like me is like, oh my God, please don't. Please, let's get back to...
That was good time. That was good.
Yeah, because we're not all universal, so you can't what worked with your last girlfriend may not work with your next girlfriend.
Can I ask you a question?
Right? Go ahead.
Here's my question.
Ask me.
Yo, you're a self-proclaimed middle-aged black woman.
I am a middle-aged black woman.
You on a date. My brother Terry. I'm just going to use him because he's right there. Terry picks you up for a date. Terry picks you up for a date. Shout out to Terry, God Squad the building. Terry picks you up for a date. When you get in the car, he's playing Nicki. But he's jamming hard as fuck to it. Like, to my monster dude to sing Lanka. And he go into the personalities. You still want to fuck? Look at your face. You still want him?
Let me tell you.
Do you still want him?
I don't fuck with Nicki.
You're not techno.
So it's because it's Nicki.
Okay. He's not playing Nicki.
Okay, he's playing wet ass pussy.
I don't listen
and
to that.
he's singing all the words.
I'm not listening to that shit. But I'll tell you this. The only people I know on this planet, I know personally, that know more than the words Pound Town to that song are men. I know
gay men.
No, straight men. I know a ton of men that know a whole lot more.
I think
about that song
it's hard to not remember my pussy pink, my booty hole brown. That kind of sears into one's mind, don't you think?
I mean,
I don't know no other words.
Boop, 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 digging that pussy. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. It's just, okay, so to the criticism that always comes to women about being hypersexual. If the men are talking about sex, who are y'all fucking that we can't talk about sex to?
First of all, equal is not identical.
Listen, Todd,
y'all can't do the same shit we do.
Todd, let me tell you something, Todd. Listen to this.
Which is why we need girl rappers, because we can't do it.
Todd, listen to me, Todd. Okay. What everybody knows, shout out to Jermaine Dupree, everybody knows there's a Freaknik documentary coming. And the promo has been other people saying,
I was there.
We hope we don't see y'all mamas.
Right.
Nobody once said, yeah, daddy ain't on there. Because we expect daddies to be dumb, ignorant
let's
niggas.
Go back.
And women, hold me out. Women are supposed to be, historically have been, men have started wars. We murdered each other. We fucked the world up. Women have always been the better version of us. If a nigga got a solid wife at home and he's about to kill the world and he got the button to kill the world, she's the one like, nigga, what about us? What about our kids? What about our family? What about my mom? You need a woman there to calm us down and slow us down and make us think. The problem, I don't have a problem with female rap. I have a problem with females acting like men. And to me,
women acting like men.
Okay,
Continue.
women. I say women. I don't mind. I didn't know female was is that derogatory?
No, it's an adjective. It's not a noun.
Okay, see?
Ooh.
I went to Banneker High School.
A woman is a female
and I barely
human.
graduated.
Professor Time.
I love that.
A male human.
Okay, cool. So women are now acting like men. Fuck my baby daddy. But here's the thing. Who's going to make a woman act straight?
Who's going to make a woman do
Who
what?
Who corrects a woman?
Other women.
No.
And men.
No. Nigga,
listen,
please.
but listen.
Please. Look, please.
Listen,
that's what Lord Jamar said that everybody's like,
do you know what? Do you know what most women's favorite thing that Meg Thee Stallion posted when she was still super duper in love with Parson Fontaine was? She said, hot girl summer, but I'm going home to my man afterwards. That's how all of us are. We want to be outside, fake being thotty, knowing that we're going home.
But hear me out.
A man.
Okay, why would you want to fake be thotty though?
No, hear me out. But
I think they real being thotty.
That's the problem, Todd. But Todd, that's the problem.
They not faking it. You might be faking it.
They
doing it for real.
Some of them are. But it still brings us back to the same thing, right? Like, so if as a woman you don't want me behaving as a man, right? That means that when I want to listen to some shit and I want to rock out to some shit, I should be able to hear something that sounds like me, that speaks to me.
Agreed.
That's why I loved Rod Digger. You know what? I've always loved her because I had a deep voice. I was a tomboy. Like, she spoke to me in a way that there was nobody.
And that's why female MCs should exist. But
Right.
I don't.
He just doesn't like
I'm not
it.
saying that.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying for
You say you don't
me
listen
as
to
a
it.
man.
By the way, as a
Ray just tried to make
heterosexual.
you know, Ray just made you go viral for no reason.
No, I did not. He said it. I just was like, oh shit. I know what he
I
meant.
think women should be
Hear me out.
rapping.
I know what he meant. I know what he meant, Ty.
Please be clear. I have so many female rappers that I love and respect. Roxanne Shante, Salt and Pepper. I mean, I used to love. I had Salt and Pepper on my wall back in the days, like when I was a kid. Like, I love those ladies. But at the same time, even back then, I wasn't playing a full album of theirs.
That's
like,
fair.
I was a DJ, so I'd have to play their records and stuff
Right.
like that. You see what I'm saying?
No, that's fair. I'm not playing a full album of a lot.
Yes, female rappers should exist for other females to listen to and all of that type of stuff. And I can appreciate their songs from time to time. I'm just saying, like,
But if a man walks up and
I
Nicki's
never had
verse
a
on Monster is
female be the
playing, I'm not judging
soundtrack
that.
of
Me
my
neither.
life.
That's
Like
she's
certain
the best version
albums
on the song.
Certain albums be the soundtrack of your life.
No,
you understand what I'm saying? Like, I have to play this every day type of shit
right.
to live.
Right, which
Like-
is why
Tom,
it matters for.
But hear me out,
which is why it
Tom. But
matters
one
for
thing we
us.
don't acknowledge in today's society is we celebrate, like, they will put a man on a front of the Time magazine as Woman of the Year, but let a man have 5 women. He's a piece of shit. So we're celebrating a man that wants
In
to take.
2024, it's
Yes.
like polyamory.
No. Hear me out. Men are gonna be cool with it, but women are gonna be like, "Girl, why would you?" Dog. Bottom line is this: is that you said something. We want to be outside of Act Thotty and we'll go home. There was a point. Watch those old mafia movies. Fridays was girlfriend nights.
Gumas.
Saturday was wives nights. Girlfriends did certain things.
Right,
Wives
men
did
wanna
other
do
things.
that too.
Men want to get back to that.
They want to act thotty and then go home.
But like,
And
we
y'all
wanna- but
didn't
here's the
have a
thing.
problem
But
with
here's the
that.
thing.
Like,
But here's the thing.
it was
But here's the
amazing.
thing. But here's the thing. One, you and I both know that there's a gazillion women out there that still don't have a problem with it. They don't give a fuck. Two, we know that, like, we have to stop. And this is the part that I'm saying about us being our own worst enemy, right? Like, Sexy Red is as outrageous as Young Nudie, right?
who?
Young Nudie.
I don't know who that
Young
is.
Nudie is the
He sounded 21 Savage.
dick in your pussy guy, the whoop 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 dick in your pussy. That song.
Okay. I
Young
think I
Nudie.
might know that.
Those songs are neck and neck, right?
Right.
I don't want to. I personally don't want to listen to either of them, right?
Me neither.
Those songs are a little worse, but pretty much the same for the times as My Neck, My Back or Put It in Your Mouth,
Right.
Ooh.
right?
Okay.
Yes.
So let's stop acting like these kids are doing something different.
Okay.
They have a bigger platform. They have more space. But the reality of it is that if we, like, do you know DJ Kerosene?
No.
So DJ Kerosene is a DJ here in Atlanta. You might y'all run in similar circles. You might know him.
Sounds familiar.
But Kerosene once said to me, and it's always stayed with me, if we gave the shit that we fuck with the same amount of energy that we give the shit that we don't fuck with,
Oh
we'd
my
be
God.
promoting better shit, right? So it's very easy. I don't have a single, and I don't dislike her. And as a matter of fact, like, the more people criticize her, the more I fuck with her. I don't have a single Sexy Red song in a playlist of mine. I have like 5 or 6 Tierra Whack songs though. I still listen to Dirty Harriet. I low key got my nickname from Foxy Brown. I wish Eve would step out of her beautiful life as a
Mother-
kept
As an
wife,
English
as a kept wife, which just goes like a motherfucker. But like, sis, come out here and write this album and let me know how to get to where you at, and then go back.
That's fine.
That's why I love when I tell you that Beyonce to me is the only female rapper that's speaking to me. Is Beyonce got songs about dropping her kids off at daycare.
I didn't know she was a
Beyonce-
rapper.
Oh, no,
Like,
I mean,
you
it's
put
a
me
joke,
onto that.
But if you go
She
and you
the
listen
MC
to
to
the
them.
album that she
Right.
did, the album that she did with Jay, if you listen to what's
And
the
I
song
didn't hear
called?
that. That's the whole thing.
Ape Shit.
Yep.
If you listen to Ape Shit, if you listen to 713, if you listen to even Formation to a certain extent, or Black Parade, it's more of a sing-songy rap delivery than it is her singing. right? So I jokingly, but I get in my bag listening to Black Parade. Like, I really be in the house, like, the same motions that I did for Fox, the same motions that like, I think I'm a rapper in my head.
By the way, the first
I'm just waiting for somebody to write me some raps.
By the way, the first time Beyonce rap, I think we did that song. I've been on.
Which one?
I've been on.
Yes.
I've been on. I've been on. But that's the first time that she was rapping in the Chop the Screw verse. But I will say this. Sexy Red is better than all female rap because Sexy Red is hard, like a man. She's saying what she's speaking like a man, she's on beats like a man, and she doesn't have a female voice. So it's not like she almost sounds like a nigga looking for the whole, like that's what shit a nigga would sing. Mm-hmm. And she sings it. Like, so I think that's why she's there. But
I'll say this too though, like, so when you said earlier, who do we think that the Malcolms of this generation are going to be, right? I would respectfully posit that person should not be a rapper. It could be, but it should be somebody that's politically active. It should be somebody that's in their community. That's,
right,
you know what I'm saying? Like, it really shouldn't be a rapper. I don't know what that person is.
It's probably not going to be, and that's what's a shame.
No, but all it takes is for us to get behind that person, like how Atlanta has gotten behind Andre Dukins.
But here's the thing, though. Here's a problem. Music is a subconscious thing, and you ask for people to show conscious. We don't know why we like a song. It comes on and we like it.
But the song is entertainment is my point. My point is,
I get it.
The song is entertainment.
But let me ask you.
My point is, I will never forget, because we laugh hard as shit at that. 17 years old, I'm playing the 10 Crack Commandments. I can tell you now that at 17, I had only been speaking English. I had only been in the States for 7 years, right? When I go back and I listen to 10 Crack Commandments now, there's a whole lot of shit that he said that when I heard that song in 97, I had
didn't understand.
What the fuck is this? Like, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But it sounds good. It's a good little bop. The beat is cool, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I played the song. And like, to show you how much of a nerd I am, I'm like sitting in my dad's kitchen playing solitaire on the computer playing this song.
Back
in 97.
97?
And my dad walks in and my dad says, you know, the kind of music that you listen to can influence who you hang around. Da, 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 da. He gave me this whole lecture. And we laughing because I'm like, sir, like, you've had me for 17 years, and I don't think that Biggie is undoing anything that you've done as a parent in 2 minutes, because I was raised by parents that could let me discern. The same way that, like, I was 6 years old or 8 years old, my mom loved action movies, and I was like, I want to die by a machine gun. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. I'm never going to see or touch a machine gun when I'm saying that, because there is an understanding that some things are for entertainment and some things are real life. And I think at a certain point, we got to stop pointing at these rappers and wonder why our kids are listening to them more than they're listening to us.
Mm. Well, on that note, we have to wrap.
I'm sorry.
No, you did amazing.
Lord Jamar,
by the way, this is our first time Lord Jamar doing it.
Lord Jamar about to write me some raps.
You impressed. By the way, I've been bragging on you. Like, we need, like, she the shit, and you showed up. I appreciate that. But we have one segment we got to do with you. It's called Credit Check. I hate when people give people their flowers. I can't do nothing with fucking flowers.
Right, flowers die, right?
Give me my fucking credit. Let me leverage that. So we have this segment called Credit Check, where we give you yourself a chance to shout out 2 to 3 unsung heroes in your career or your life that you want to just shout out that deserve a little credit.
Unsung heroes. Well, probably the first one would be my grandmother. Okay, this is my grandmother.
Give it up for grandma. This is grandma. Give it up. We love grandmothers on the God Show.
Dorothy L. Brody was her name. And yeah, like coming up as a DJ and trying to learn to DJ, there was a lot of loud music in my crib, and you know what I mean? And my crib was like, everybody would converge at my crib, you know what I mean? And I'd be in my bedroom DJing, and I got like maybe 10 people back there, and you know, she grabbed, turn it down, and you know what I mean? Okay. But like, she supported anything that I wanted to do in life. When I thought I was gonna be a football player or a basketball player, she would get me the best equipment and all of it, you know what I mean? Not that I had the greatest DJ equipment, I had to put together hodgepodge, but she got me started off, like, you know what I mean? Like with a good turntable or something like that. And then I had to like scheme the rest of it, but I made it happen. So yeah, I feel like grandma was the one that put a certain thing in me that made me feel like I can do whatever I want to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like whatever I put my mind to, and she's like really supported me in that. You know what I mean? So yeah, credit check. Grandma.
So go ahead.
Yeah, now I was just trying to think of somebody. Go ahead. You
I was about to say, I was going to ask the last question, but I thought you didn't have no more. But if you have somebody else you want to shout out.
Yeah.
It's all good. Grandma,
I have a question, which is,
I
think is something that we should credit. How did you end up on Oz?
How did I end up on Oz?
No, but I mean, that's a valid thing,
right? So I always wanted to like do some acting type of shit, right? And I naively felt like, oh yeah, once I become a rapper, you know, they're gonna see me and be like, yo, look at that guy. I should put him in a movie, like, you know what I mean? And so, you know, I'm like the third album, and it never happened, like, you know what I mean? Because this is in my mind.
Right.
You have to do things that are in your mind and bring them into this dimension. See, your mind is one dimension, and to bring it into the physical world, you have to speak it or write it down. That's a form of transforming thoughts into reality, right? So when I finally said out loud, yo, I want to do some acting shit, like, and this is where my man Jeff comes in. Jeff Dixon comes in, okay? He was managing us at the time. And, you know, I'm seeing all these rappers who I feel like, yo, these niggas look like they can't even read in real life. How did the hell did they get in a fucking movie? I know I could do better than that dude. So I said, yo, Jeff, I called Jeff. Yo, Jeff, man. Yo, get me in a movie, man. Like, you get something. And he's like, thinking, like, where the fuck's this coming from? You know what I mean? And he's probably like, I don't really know. But like, you know what I mean? So I say that, so then he hits me back maybe, you know, I don't know, a couple weeks later, and he's like, yo, HBO got a premiere for a new show that's coming out, you know what I mean? And y'all go to the premiere, you know what I mean? And I'm like, all right, that's a start. So it turns out the show that was just coming out was The Sopranos, okay? Yeah. So we go into the premiere, nobody knows what this is gonna be or whatever, but we go to that, and there's mad people from Oz there. You know what I mean? And, you know, you never know who knows you when you make music. You know what I mean? I'll still be surprised when, like, NBA dudes, you know, oh, shit, Lord Jamar, you know? And so all these dudes from Oz is like, and I used to love Oz, but all these dudes is like, oh, shit, brand Nubian. Because it was me, X, and I think Alamo was there. Pooh Bah don't fuck with a lot of shit. So yeah, they was loving us, and you know what I mean? And we start just kicking it with these dudes, and afterwards we go to the after party, and you know what I mean? We smoking weed up in the spot, you know, and that's when, you know, whatever, we was violating. But me and the dude, Dean Winters and shit, started kicking it. My man Mayhem. On the Allstate commercials. So yeah, we got cool. We exchanged numbers, and we would talk on the phone a couple times here and there, and he would invite me to little shit, and I'd invite him to like some hip hop shit. And he invited us to the set one day, and he was like, yo, y'all want to get in the background of a scene? Y'all could put on some shit. And I'm like, nigga, I ain't no background ass nigga.
Give me a line.
I'm thinking in my mind, I said, if I'm gonna be on here, I'm gonna be on this motherfucker for real.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And I said, nah, I'm good. And by me saying that kind of fucked it up for X and Alamo that day, because they was there. And I could tell that they wanted to do it. Like, and by me saying no, it was kind of like, this nigga J always fucking some shit up. So anyway, long story short, I might have known this dude for about a year, and one day he's just like, yo, would you ever want to be on the show? I was like, of course I fucking would. Like, you know what I mean? He was like, yo, let me talk to this dude, Tom Fontana, who's the creator / writer of the show. And so I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, man, he's going to get me audition. He calls me 2 weeks later. Yo, Tom Fontana wants to meet you. I'm like, word? Okay. 2 weeks go by, go to meet Tom Fontana, go to his office. this nigga starts talking to me. I don't know what homeboy said, but he's talking to me like I'm on the show.
Right.
I didn't read nothing.
Oh wow.
They're talking to me like I'm on the show / we just got to figure out who your character is. You know what I mean? He's like, I got an idea for a Jamaican guy who's an undercover cop. I said, nah, I don't want to play a cop. Now, that character ended up being played by Lance Riddick. Rest in peace, Lance Riddick. Excellent actor. That's the first time I ever met him. But yeah, I was like, nah, I don't want to be a cop. So he's telling me all these characters, and I'm like, nah. You know what I mean? Like, and then I was like, yo, you know about the 5 sedation? And he's like, what's that? You know? And I said, well, you know, it's kind of prevalent in the jails. You know, it's just kind of like the Muslims, but not, you know, it's a little more street. And, you know, and then they teach the black man is God. And then he's listening. He's like, I like that. He's like, let me ask you something. So if the black man is God, does that mean the white man's the devil? And I'm sitting in there with 2 white men.
Yeah.
And it's that just hush of silence, like, for a second. And I'm like, yes. Yes, it does.
They like that? Do they like that?
It was just quiet for a minute, and he's just like, I love it.
Right. Because you know what it is? Like, I want to give you credit for showing up authentically you everywhere that you go, because that's what I got out of that story, right? You ain't want to be no background actor. You ain't want to be no undercover cop. You came in playing a role where you acted your ass off, and we know you weren't playing you, but it was a character that was written for you, where you still got to show up your authentic self. So we got to give you your credit.
Thank you.
Dead ass.
And how I got in there, he was like, okay, so I like the character, but now we need a way to get you in here. And I was like, oh, you know, bank robbery. I'll be a bank robber. Nah, that's federal crime. It got to be a states thing. So I took something out of my real life but I just embellished a little. So I'm a sore loser, right? So one time I was in a dice game with a dude, lost the dice game, and homeboy started laughing at me after. Ah, you shouldn't have bet me, God. You know, and he's trying to walk away with the money, and you know, and I ended up give me my fucking money back. Right. You know what I mean? But in this, so I told him in this thing, I just shot him. You know what I mean? Right. And so that's how I got in there. And he used all of that, like everything I said in the meeting. Like he used all of that in the script type of shit.
That's
like
dope.
even my description of the 5% Nation, and then he just took it from there.
How many seasons were you on there?
Like 2. I was on 12 episodes.
Okay.
So before that, any other rapper was only on there for 2 episodes.
Right.
And I did 12. So credit that I'll give on that show, because I never had an acting coach or nothing like that. But my acting coach was Eamon Walker, who played Saeed, who I didn't even know was from like London and all this type of shit until he started talking on the. I already thought he was a phenomenal actor. And I'm like, wait a minute, you putting on a fucking accent? Like,
that's crazy.
I was like, wow. And so, yeah, me and him used to go sit in the projects during lunchtime outside, because they used to shoot in Chelsea markets and shit. And it was, we used to just go eat lunch, and he was just telling me, yo, you a natural, and just blah, 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 giving me little game and little mentorship. You know what I mean? Everybody needs a mentor at some point. Like, you know what I mean? So, credit to Eamon Walker on the
That's a credit
acting.
check we gave him.
Yes.
That's your second credit check.
Exactly.
So with that being said, Jack is going to ask the last question that we ask every episode.
All right.
So this is the God Show, which
Yes,
is an acronym.
and I'm the God.
Right, which is which is an acronym for goats and underdog. So do you consider yourself a goat or underdog?
Well, I've very much been an underdog most of my life. I think it's possible to be both, yes.
It's your choice. It's how you want to answer.
I mean, you said you are the God.
Yeah, I am the God. Greatest of all time. See,
For you though, it could be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a humble guy. And a lot of these dudes are not goats; they're Baphomets. But that's a whole. That's a whole nother.
So what?
Baphomet.
What's that?
Another name for the devil.
It's that goat.
But the symbol is a goat.
Okay.
Ooh.
Damn, we have to bring you back to break that one down. God damn.
I'll go with underdog. I feel like that's been more of my who I've been most of my life.
I'm gonna tell you something. We don't allow people to sit in that seat and do the God show unless they're goated. So you are a goat. So we are here to celebrate you, and we appreciate your contributions to the culture from the beginning until now, and want to still see you contribute to what we're doing. Like, it became clear talking to you. Like, I learned a lot this interview talking to you, because it's like, we need OGs. So you are a GOAT. This is the God Show. We celebrate you. Shout out to our sponsors. Shout out to Yoko Vodka. Shout out to Two Lost Distribution. Shout out to Toten Carry. And also shout out to KLH2O. Like, share, subscribe. This is the God Show. Thank you to Ty for sitting in. Let's give Ty a round of applause.
Thanks for having me.
Hopefully she'll come back. And this is the God Show. We are out. Let's go.
Peace.
So bad.